Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. Thanks a lot for joining me. I hope you're really well. Today we're going to be having a look at the beautiful sound of the ninth interval. What it is, how you can integrate it into your playing really quickly to create some new sounds. It's a really, really emotional sounding note in my eyes. I think it's a great note for creating some tension. There's a real beauty but melancholic kind of quality to it. And I think you can get a lot from this by adding it into your playing. First of all, we'll have a look at what it actually is, where it comes from, and then we'll have a look at how you can integrate it into a simple minor pentatonic scale pattern. I've also got 4 licks for you to have a look at, so hopefully you can get this note into your playing really quickly and use it as a framework to expand and experiment with as you go forward. So first of all, what is a ninth interval? Well, a ninth interval is basically the same as a major second, which is the second note of the major scale. But it's called a ninth because it's played 1 octave higher, so it's played actually in the second octave of the scale, which gives it a bigger jump, an intervallic jump from the root note. So if we take a simple major scale in the key of A, here at the 5th fret, and we allocate each one of those notes a number, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, the second note is the note B, and if we go an octave above that, we find a B here at the 4th fret of the G string. So if we carry on going past our octave, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and that's where our ninth comes from. The reason this note is kind of more effective when it's played higher is just simply because of how close the proximity is of the second to the root. So if I play A here and then a low B, you can hear how those two notes really create a lot of tension next to each other, very dissonant sound. So by jumping an octave up with that B note, suddenly now it's much nicer sounding notes, still creating some tension, but it's not kind of as dissonant as the low one. We can also play the B note here at the 7th fret of the high E string, and this is where we're going to start integrating it into our minor pentatonic scale. So if we take that minor pentatonic scale at the 5th fret, which hopefully you're all familiar with, we're going to add the B at the 4th fret of the G string, as we looked at before, and also the 7th fret of the high E string. So if we play the scale through and add those notes in, we get this. I've got a single A minor chord in my looper here. I'm just going to play that and then I'll play the scale and highlight some of those notes so you can hear what that sounds like in practice. There's the 9. And again. So you can hear how it really creates some lovely tension. Just need resolving at some point as well. So hopefully that gives you a bit of an idea of kind of how it sounds. The nice thing about this is we suddenly get a semitone movement within our pentatonic scale, which we don't otherwise get. So it straight away adds that little bit of character into the scale. As I say, I've got a few licks for you, so I'll jump to a close-up and I'll show you these 4 licks, and hopefully that will give you something to get going with straight away. So the first lick that I've got is going to come from the position 1 of the minor pentatonic scale in A, here at the 5th fret. I'll play it through for you a couple of times and then we'll break it down after that. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we're going to start with a slide into the 7th fret of the A string, across to the 3rd fret of the G string, back to the 7th fret of the A string, and then we're going to go down to the 4th fret of the G string, and this is actually our B note, which is the 9th of the scale. So And then we're going to do a pull off from 5 down to 4 on the G string, and then 7 on the D string, rolling across to 7 on the A string, and then slide finally from the 5th fret of the D string up to the 7th fret of the D string, resolving to our A, which is the root of the scale. So again, all together. Okay, so lick number 2 is going to stay in the same position of the minor pentatonic scale. 1, 2, 3. So this is going to start on the 5th fret of the G string with a hammer onto the 7th fret of the G, and then a hammer from 5 to the 8 of the B string. Then we're going to play the 5th fret of the high E, back to the 5th fret of the B, and a little slide from the 7th fret of the high E to the 8th fret, and then down to the 7th fret. And this is our B note here, this is our 9th. So all together so far. Then we're going to go back to the 5th fret of the E string, and then slide from the 8th to the 10th fret on the B string. And they're basically the same note, both root notes of the scale A. So all together so far. And then we're just going to, you could hold it there, but we're just going to finish off with a pull off down to the 8th fret, and then a 9th fret on the note E, just to finish the lick off. So for lick number 3, we're going to change position and we're going to come up to the 12th fret now, using a combination of positions 3 and 4 of the minor pentatonic scale. This is what I really refer to as the diagonal pattern. So if you're not sure what that is, I did a video on that a little while ago which you can check out. I'll put a link in the description for that. Really cool way of kind of navigating these two positions of the minor pentatonic scale. So I'll play it through for you a couple of times first, and then we can break it down after that. 1, 2, 3. So this lick starts with a slide up to the 12th fret of the A string, followed by the 10th fret of the D string, then a slide to the 14th fret of the D string, and then we're going to jump to the 13th fret of the B string, followed by a bend from the 14th fret of the G string up to the 16th fret of the G string. And that's our 9th we're bending up to. We're bending from the note A to the B, which is our root note, to our 9th. Really nice way of establishing some tension within the phrase. So finally for lick number 4, we're going to stay in the same position. This is really a sort of a descending scale run. We're going to start on the 12th fret, which is our B, the 9th here. So we start the lick on the 12th fret of the B string, and we do a hammer on to the 13th fret, followed by the 12th fret again. This is our 9th of the scale. Then we're going to do 14th to the 12th fret on the 3rd string, and that's a pull off. So then we do a walk down from 14 down to 12 on the D string, and this is using the flat 5, which is our blues note, just to give a bit of chromaticism in there. And then we're going to do a slide down to the 10th fret. So all together so far. Then we're going to play the 12th fret of the A string and the 10th fret of the A string, followed by the slide from the 12th fret of the D string up to the 14th fret of the D, and finally finishing on the 10th fret of the D string, which is the C note. So all together. So I really hope you found that useful. It's such a great sound to get into your playing if you haven't already, and you know, understanding why it sounds good, why it works, and how you can create that tension. Such a useful tool to have in your vocabulary. If you did enjoy the lesson, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel, and I look forward to seeing you all again for the next one very soon. Thanks a lot for watching.